And this particular presentation is streamed live on YouTube and the Ad Club website. So I'm going to request everybody to subscribe to the YouTube channel of Ad Club.
Yes, Smita.
Yeah.
Please announce the presenter.
Yeah, sure. Good morning to all. We are starting with the category Best Media Strategy, Consumer Products, Confectionery and Food. And the presentation duration will be 10 minutes per presentation. And the first presentation is from Waymaker for Cadbury celebrations, not just a Cadbury ad. To Waymaker.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes, 1 minute. Is my screen visible?
Yes. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Your time starts now, and you can start the presentation.
Morning, everyone. I'm Adhir Anand from Waymaker, and I'm here to tell you why Cadbury Celebration spent crores of their marketing budgets to make an ad that was not just a Cadbury ad. Chocolates are usually an impulse buy, meant for self-indulgence. However, selling Cadbury Celebrations isn't the same as selling other Cadbury chocolates. Unlike impulse purchase, the gifting business opportunity has a limited window, and it thrives on the seasonal demand for sweet gifting. Cadbury Celebrations exists to gain the greatest share of this sweet gifting pie. Diwali and Rakhi are the most widely celebrated and most important from a brand and business point of view. Diwali is especially crucial for Cadbury Celebrations, given that it accounts for 47% of the annual sales for the last 5 years. The traumatic year of COVID wreaked havoc on the people and economy of the country. Countless people lost their jobs and sources of livelihood. Consumer sentiment was at its lowest ever due to a fall in household income, job and pay cuts, and they were consequently cutting down discretionary spending. After seeing the worst of the first wave, gradually the cases dipped and restrictions were relaxed at the onset of the festivals. Unlike other food categories, chocolates was considered a non-essential, and consequently, sales nosedived during the Q2 lockdown. Trade had no confidence that things would get better. As they saw it, the first sign of what was in store for Diwali was evident in the dull Rakhi sales, which was historically the bellwether for Diwali sales. Since consumers weren't indulging, grocers focused on stocking essentials over chocolate, compromising our shelf present and chances of being picked up by consumers. While the big brands got back on track with their large marketing budgets, the small neighborhood stores were still struggling to get back on their feet. It struck us that while our brand stood for generosity, we worried only for ourselves without sparing a thought for small businesses who depended on us. It was an opportunity to do something beyond just selling our product and stand for something more purposeful. Our strategic idea was to turn barriers into warriors by making our marketing an act and an enabler of unseasonal generosity to help promote and drive sales for local businesses as well as our own. Three key pillars on which the larger businesses had bounced back after COVID were customer service, data and tech, and significant marketing budgets. While the smaller stores aced in customer relationship, what they lacked was technology and marketing budgets to promote themselves. This is where Cadbury Celebrations decided to step in and lend a helping hand to the small stores. Introducing not just a Cadbury ad, shifting from asking people to buy celebrations to gift to asking people to buy from small local shops and instead gift them a helping hand. Let's look at the AV to see what we did.
India is home to more than 6 crore small businesses, and they've been fighting for survival after the coronavirus outbreak and the lockdowns.
Presenting not just a Cadbury ad. We advertised not just for ourselves, but for thousands of small businesses across India. The idea was innovative, but the technology and execution was challenging. Most of the stores in India don't have a digital presence. So we had to manually feed our system to create a database of local retailers, mapping them to their location, which we identified through PIN codes. As the ad was served to an individual, an algorithm located the PIN code and then mapped the various local stores in that PIN code and served the one closest to the individual in real time. The AI-enabled system created thousands of permutations for the localized version of the same ad, so many that it is even impossible to track. This resulted in the first ever hyper-personalized ad ever that saw the ad supported a local store. The campaign was truly appreciated across India as it was picked up by major influencers. The campaign was a success even on the dark social as it appeared on countless WhatsApp groups across the country. It was also covered by national and international press, generating free PR for the campaign, and it also organically trended on Twitter. When all of us support our local stores, all of us can have a happy Diwali, not just a Cadbury ad.
We resorted to the power of tech, dynamic creative optimization, and AI to localize the campaign to 300 plus PIN codes with 2,000 plus local business owners, reaching out to over 7,000 retailers whose names featured in the ad, making it truly not just a Cadbury ad. We relied on tech and data-led interventions to bring this campaign to life. Starting with identifying local retailers for specific businesses, we leveraged businesses listed on Google My Business to identify them based on PIN code and location. Digitizing the consent process, given the limitation of physical movement during partial lockdown, a contactless consent process was developed where each retailer received an SMS link to a pre-filled consent form with their details. The business owners simply had to accept to grant consent, allowing us to feature their names in our ads. Automating dynamic creative development to create thousands of variations through a creative optimizer. And lastly, use an AI algorithm to identify the real-time location of a consumer and trigger a customized ad based on their location. So every location saw an ad which is unique to that PIN code in a radius of 2 kilometers from the viewer, making the ad viewing experience truly personal for each consumer. The campaign received an overwhelming reception, setting new viewership benchmarks across platforms for CPG and highest ever engagement rates for Mondelez, while generating humongous free PR valued at $1.5 million. Impact soared when influential voices across business, media, fashion, sports, and art shared it organically and urged people to support local businesses. For business, it was a spectacular rescue as we delivered 32% growth against a target of 10%. Our distribution grew by 14% as we added over 16,000 new stores, helping us increase our household penetration by 21%. Help traditional retailers double their sales along the way. We also take comfort in the fact that small traders registered a close to 11% increase in business during Diwali. While it is difficult to attribute all of it to our campaign, we are sure we would have contributed at some level. Our campaign also garnered praise across the industry, winning awards across domestic and international forums, including a Cannes Lion and winning the Grand Prix at ICOM, Work Awards, YouTube Works, and many more. The campaign has won over 15 awards across industry forums till date. The biggest learning for us through this journey was how the realization of how a seed of an idea can be transformed with the power of data and tech to impact the society at large. However, the best thing about this Diwali campaign was the satisfaction of being true to our brand purpose, being generous, and inspiring generosity when needed the most. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Adir. Smita, can you please call out the next presenter by the time? And jury members, please score the entry and let us know once you are ready for the next presentation.
Okay, the next presentation is by Waymaker for Cadbury Dairy Milk, making India generous, one thank you at a time.
Presenters, keep the video and the audio on. The video should be on.
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, sharing my screen.
Share the screen with the computer audio without failure.
Absolutely.
Jury members, are we good to go? Is the jury ready for the present?
Yes, good.
Yes.
I have a question. Can you just let me know the number so that we are in the right, rather the ID, so we scored the right one.
Just a moment, sir. I'll let you know.
That the presentation which was done, not a just a Cadbury ad, entry ID was 322,
It was 320. Thank you.
and the current one is 329. Cadbury Dairy Milk, making India generous, 329.
Okay, you can announce that as a part of your
No
announcement.
problem. I will do so, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Very good.
Smita, the previous entry ID, it's 322 or
322,
320?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, the current one is 329, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can we start, jury members? Hello?
Yes.
Jury members, can we start, please?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, start.
All right. Checking again if I'm audible.
Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you, and your screen is not yet shared.
All right. Sharing my. Give 1 second. All right, sharing my screen. Are you able to see just the slide?
Yes.
Perfect. All right.
You.
Okay to start?
Yes, you can start the presentation. Your time starts now.
All right. Hello, judges, and good morning. My name is Sabbir Kapasi, and I'll be taking you through, I'll be talking to you about how we got Indians to say thank you with a Cadbury. For over a decade, Cadbury Dairy Milk has grown on the back of Kuch Acha Ho Jaye, with the sole objective of replacing the Indian mithai with chocolate. We were now about to embark on the next phase of our growth, moving from being a marker of happiness to a maker of happiness. A study revealed that India ranks the worst in terms of power distance. There exists a strong hierarchical bias where we treat services rendered as part of the job, disregarding without any gratitude the effort and diligence invested by the other person. It is so deep-rooted that it's now a blind spot for most of us. Here, the house help is sitting on the floor, even in a metro. Many buildings in major cities have separate elevators for domestic help. And the nanny here is sitting separately from the family she assists daily. Our egoistic entitlement makes us refuse to even acknowledge them, making them invisible. It is this exact set of people that make our lives easier. And hence Cadbury Dairy Milk set out to melt this power distance with a simple creative device. Thank you. However, while we were all set to launch this campaign in April 2020, the nation was forced into a lockdown in March. The resultant impact on the economy led to salary cuts and job losses. People were struggling to make ends meet. At such a time, not only were we forced to pause all launch efforts, but we were now forced with 3 critical challenges. Firstly, with the Prime Minister thanking the frontline workers, almost every brand jumped onto this message, and rightfully so. However, this would dilute our message of gratitude, no longer enabling us to stand out. Secondly, with the COVID-19 pandemic, there was also a parallel mental health pandemic. A sense of gloom and claustrophobia prevailed all over the country. And thirdly, chocolates were the last purchase item on people's minds. Amid a halted economy, people were purely focused on buying the essentials. So as a brand that stood for happiness, we wanted to revive the optimism in human beings. We didn't just want to revive the chocolates category that was losing its relevance day by day. We also wanted to revive the hope for a better shared future. And as the nation thanked our frontline workers, we still fail to see the effort put in by the working class beyond certain sectors. The government focused their gratitude on our healthcare workers and supported that with various public gestures. Most brand campaigns also followed suit, crowning healthcare workers as the sole heroes in fighting the pandemic. But there were many more people who made our hardships a little easier to bear every single day. Unfortunately, the power distance was even more acute than ever. Armed with this insight, to ensure our campaign cut through, we reimagined our campaign on the principle of valuing the undervalued. While most brands were thanking the medical staff and frontline workers, there were a lot of other people whose efforts were going largely unacknowledged. And that is why our campaign didn't focus only on gratitude, but also on empathy. We partnered with the biggest brands across India, encouraging them to participate in our campaign by thanking those who worked behind the scenes. In effect, the carriers of our brand message became participants in our brand campaign. Further, moving from just storytelling, we evolved from story doing, where we launched limited edition packs, where we replaced our logo with the thank you word in 8 languages. Let me share a few more examples of how we brought this campaign to life. During the pandemic, we got used to watching cricket in bio bubbles. It was the behind the scenes housekeeping staff and production crew that ensured the commentators' needs were met at all times. If Lakshman didn't serve Irfan the perfect cup of tea, how would he put in the endless late hours in bringing us all the buzz around the matches? We all know how many ad shoots were cancelled during the lockdown, but it is the technicians and the entire production unit that made sure we were served new content every single day. And on this note, we'll take you through our audiovisual.
There are so many people who make our life easier and hassle-free. Yet we never really acknowledge this workforce. The social asymmetry in India is palpable, and it has made the majority of the middle class feel entitled to the services they receive. Cadbury believes in the inherent generosity in people. We believe that people need nothing more than a nudge, a gentle reminder that humanity trumps everything else. We try to rekindle that human spirit with 2 words: thank you. At a time when people weren't buying chocolates for themselves, we encouraged them to buy one for someone else, someone they left unacknowledged. So, Cadbury Dairy Milk embarked on an effort to identify and thank the most underappreciated people around us. By partnering with one of the largest networks in India, we worked with 14 popular protagonists who thanked their assistants, makeup artists, and spot boys. As a special gesture, Z Network aired credits at the beginning of programs, a departure from the regular practice of crediting production teams at the end.
इसलिए आज कैडबरी डेयरी मिल्क और Z के साथ मिलकर हम इन सभी लोगों को इनके योगदान के लिए कहना चाहते हैं एक मीठा सा थैंक यू.
Filmfare 2021 saw Spot Boys and background crew receive the award for Best Movie of the Year.
ये अवार्ड एक्चुअली सर टीम को दिया जाए. फाइनेंस टीम है, एडीज हैं, उनके नाम ये अवार्ड. Thank you, sir.
Sportscasters thank their own background crews who helped keep cricket alive when all other live sporting events were shut down due to the pandemic.
Thank you so much for taking care of me. हमेशा आप मेरी चाय का बहुत ध्यान रखते हैं. Thank you, sir.
Made our life very comfortable so we can concentrate on what we have to do in the commentary. So a little thank you from us. So thank you, gentlemen.
Mumbai Indians thank the efforts of their support staff.
इस बार हम खेलेंगे इन्हें थैंक यू बोलने के लिए.
and pledged 2 health insurance policies for every run scored by them.
हमारे इस पार्टनरशिप में मदद करने के लिए थैंक यू।
Amitabh Bachchan showered thanks on the stage crew and behind the screen staff of Kaun Banega Crorepati. Several additional news channels also joined the thank you movement, with newsreaders thanking cameramen. Top regional and national partners curated a thanking section where the unacknowledged were thanked. Jio, India's largest telecommunications brand, joined forces and encouraged its users to create special thank you cards. Partnering with Swiggy, Cadbury Dairy Milk reminded users to thank the delivery executives who continue to deliver food and groceries even in precarious times. Not stopping at partnerships, we harnessed the power of data and targeted digital audience segments with personalized and contextually relevant messages, reminding them to thank the unacknowledged people who help make their lives easier. We enable the carriers of our message to become the participants in our brand campaign. There are
18 months, over the next 18 months, we collaborated with 14 media partners across 40 platforms to create more than 200 thank you stories. Our cause was so noble that people carried our brand into green rooms, shoots, and makeup rooms, where we got the most genuine smiles. This is the campaign that over 18 months reached more than 350 million people and delivered more than 150 million engagements. This is the campaign that helped sell more than 20 million thank you bars, which funded medical insurance policies for more than 20,000 daily wage earners.
Last 1 minute.
And this is the campaign that helped reverse the trend of sales decline during COVID-19 and revive not just the brand, but the entire category. Thank you is all it took. And while Cadbury grew, so did the smiles and the empathy in people towards the unacknowledged. But our journey of melting the power distance has only just begun. And we promise to continue to make India more generous, one thank you at a time. Thank you is all it took. And while Cadbury grew, so did the smiles. As I wrap up this presentation, I'd like to thank the Ad Club for this opportunity. Thank you also to the IT departments who made this virtual event possible. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for the presentation. And Smita, can you please announce the next presenter's name?
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the third presentation, entry ID 317 from Waymaker for Cadbury for Cadbury Choco Bits. The case
Can you please announce it once again?
Sorry?
Can you please announce it once again?
Okay, moving on to the third presentation, entry ID 317 from Waymaker, Cadbury Choco Bits, the case of missing Cadbury.
Okay.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes. Please keep everything ready and we will let you know when to start the presentation.
Sure. Just let me know when my screen is visible.
Yes, we can see your screen as well. And jury members, can we go ahead with the next presentation?
Yeah, we can, but from next time, if you can allow us 1 minute to score before we move on to the next presenter.
Sure.
We can start.
Jury members, can we go ahead with the presentation?
Yeah, let's start it.
आम्हाला ब्रेक झाला की सांगितलं असं भेट नाहीये बरं मी जातोय डॉक्टर जातोय मी जाऊन किती वाजता येशील मी येतोय
Praveen jury, yeah?
Can I start?
Yes. Your time starts now. You can start the presentation.
Sure. Thank you. Good morning. I'm Dhara Shah from Waymaker, and I'm going to be taking you through the case of missing Cadbury. 2020 was the year of extreme anomaly as the pandemic hit our lives. The lockdown played havoc, and normalcy as we knew it had completely changed how people were behaving towards brands and advertising. This led to a massive dip in sales for brands, and it had an immediate impact as advertising and media spends saw a drastic cut. The lockdown, as we saw, had a shift in media consumption habits, with increased time at home led to much increased time spent on digital media, especially the social media platforms. In such dynamic circumstances, advertisers were now skewing their messaging more towards the online media and thus creating high messaging clutter across these platforms. Now, the challenge for Mondelez as a brand was tougher since our category was traditionally perceived as luxury or discretionary, and hence we were competing for mind space amidst brands that were pushing messaging related to health and well-being. In such a daunting landscape, Mondelez had decided to launch a new product line and foray into a completely new category. With over 70 years of legacy, Mondelez, on their flagship brand Cadbury, thought of reinventing the way they marketed this product so that it could break the clutter immediately. A pandemic consumer trend study showed a sharp rise in in-home snacking, where about 88% Indians admitted to snacking more, and snacks were being preferred over meals. The product Cadbury was launching catered perfectly to this audience. With the ongoing challenges of the pandemic, digital media clutter, the category being discretionary and not an essential, the task at hand was to create an impactful launch. To achieve this, we had to come up with a strategy which would have a high dose of inventiveness and disruption to pique the curiosity of the audience. Our insight was therefore based on the fact that it's a human tendency to be receptive to things when they're caught by surprise. We backed this insight with the 3S framework of shock, suspense, and show. And this is how the campaign idea, Kahan Gayi Cadbury, also known as the missing case of Cadbury, was born. For Indians, chocolate equals to Cadbury. The word Cadbury itself evoked a sense of nostalgia and fond memories. Now imagine what would happen if overnight everyone's most loved Cadbury suddenly disappeared. Keeping in line with this wildly unexpected step, Cadbury went missing from the packaging of its most iconic assets. It also went missing on the social media pages, hoardings, and even the direction boards. We created suspense and took the internet by storm. As this was a disruption nobody would have ever imagined, a world without Cadbury. With the Cadbury logo going missing across the assets, sufficient mystery had been built, which made people ask, Kahan gayi Cadbury? Finally, this was the time to reveal Kahan gayi thi Cadbury.
It's not every day that an iconic brand makes its logo disappear. Cadbury Choco Bakes wanted to launch a new product, a cake with Cadbury hidden in it. So we decided to create buzz around the launch by hiding the most iconic thing, Cadbury. Cadbury mysteriously went missing from social media. Billboards and direction signs. Celebrities wondered too.
कैडबरी गायब है नहीं मतलब कहाँ गई कैडबरी
कहाँ गई कैडबरी?
कहाँ गायब हो गई मेरी कैडबरी
It even went missing from the collection of Asia Book of Record holder for most chocolate wrappers. 50 million people wanted to know, kahan gayi Cadbury? That's when Choco Bakes revealed where Cadbury was, at the Sweet Secret party.
3,
2,
1.
Then, we launched cakes with a TVC that made its way into people's hearts.
तू ना बिल्कुल ये केक जैसा है, छुपा रुस्तम। सबके सामने मुझे देखता भी नहीं है और अकेले में नॉटी बॉय।
Cadbury Choco Bakes Cakes. दिखता है केक है Cadbury.
The campaign became the talk of the town. In just 5 days, Cadbury in a cake became the only thing people loved more than Cadbury.
Kahan Gayi Cadbury was featured in the most watched and the clutter-breaking work on 2020 for Campaign India. Our campaign garnered 400 million impressions, 85 million reach, and 143,000 engagements in just 20 days. The media and the press also took notice of this campaign. Immediate salience at 83 versus the FMCG target of 58. The product trial increased 2 times, and hence the surge was seen in the internal revenue figures of the brand, where the target was exceeded by a whopping 133%. Now, what made this campaign unique? Cadbury launched a product by dropping its most identifiable asset to launch a brand. And all this while bringing smiles to people when they needed it the most. Thank you.
Thank you, Darasha. And jury members, please do score for this presentation.
Yeah, the juries should be comfortable. We will proceed when the juries are ready, okay, with the case study presentation. So,
Jury members, can we go ahead with the next presentation?
I'm good.
Okay. Yes, please.
Yes, maybe it will be good also for future that we can write it on the message panel so that you guys come to know of it, in case that's fine.
Sure.
you can.
Thanks. Sir.
Still, as a part of the process, we will ask whether you are comfortable to go, because I think at the end of the day, comfort of the jury is of paramount importance. So,
Okay, so moving on to the fourth presentation, entry ID 325, Lodestar Amul, How Amul strengthened its position despite a pandemic.
Can you hear me properly? And is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Please let me know if I can start.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Your time starts now. You can start the presentation.
A very good morning to all of you. As the saying goes, the brave shall inherit the earth. Well, this is a story of how a series of brave decisions were taken for brand Amul. Sorry, my screen is frozen for some. You see, Amul faced very unique challenges as part of the pandemic. 68 perishable brands, a very large portfolio to manage, supporting 3.6 million farmers, all of whose livelihood depended on milk completely. The HoReCa segment had completely shut down. Restaurants were down, but HoReCa does account for a very sizable chunk of the Amul business as well. The pandemic got consumers a little scared, and they were afraid to bring absolutely anything into the house. Milk was part of the scare basket as well. So Amul decided not to wait and watch, and they would take very brave decisions and needed to be agile if we had to help our friends, the farmers. It was imperative that a decline in sales could not be factored in. We also had to explore new opportunities created as part of this new paradigm shift and leverage the softer market as well. Needless to say that reinforcing trust and promising availability to our consumers was important. We had to assure them that milk and other essentials would always be available to them. So we quickly studied behavioral changes and impact during the previous downturns and referenced over 75 articles trying to understand what transpired at that point in time, map this to current mindset, mood, and changes in media, viewing habits, buying habits, eating habits, and came across a lot of insights. We took forward 4 disparate learnings to formulate our strategy. The first one being that companies that invest in a downturn not only gain equity faster, but also bounce back a lot faster if they do not go media dark. Consumers, we know, re-examine norms and patterns during a pandemic and also are likely to change their habits as well. We realized that the lockdown, made us realize that there was deep dependency on house help as well. And therefore DIY conveniences, searches for recipes, searches for food, search for simple food came to the forefront. A lot of families were stationed at home, locked up with their loved ones. Some were missing people as well. Nostalgia, family bonding, even religion because of the uncertainty came into the focus. The mantra that we adopted was pivot and transform. And in doing so, there were a series of brave decisions that we took as part of the strategy. The first brave decision that we took was that instead of stopping due to COVID, we would substantially increase our visibility. Now, some of us would know that Amul was never really part of the SOV game, given that our A to S ratio was always less than 1%. But we pivoted and transformed from this thinking, and we catapulted Amul to the top 10 advertisers in the country, substantially increasing our SOV, leveraging genres like news, movies, boosting digital presence because of OTT, and even leveraging digital e-papers as well. In fact, we delivered unprecedented media value through market softness as well. The second brave decision came about when, in a turbulent, uncertain world, we realized that none of the other companies were actually ready to take a stance. Well, we proactively reassured and provided safety guarantees which would help restore trust. Leveraging credible media, we assured our consumers and also got none other than Mr. R.S. Sodhi, who is not only the MD at Amul, but also a very trusted warrior, to come to the forefront, speak to consumers and tell them that milk and essentials would always be available. There was no need to panic and that our factories would work as per COVID norms. The third brave decision happened when we further brought alive this trust by showcasing legacy and demonstrating partnership. Now, doing a social message with COVID in mind is very opportunistic and quite possible. But we thought laterally, we said that we could showcase 30 years of infallible daily partnership using 190 Amul classic ads right from the 90s, building on the trust and the legacy, convincing our consumers that we will always be there with them. The fourth media decision that we took was that we tapped into heightened religious sentiment. Now, if you remember, I was talking about religious fervor being at the forefront. So we predicted that religious content would deliver very high viewership. But, any media planner would turn around and say that, why DD and why ratings and what would happen to that? And it's all old content. But we transformed that understanding as well. And we predicted and convinced DD that this was an epic show that we wanted to sponsor. Amul proudly became a sponsor, reaping rich benefits at that point in time. 1/200 the cost of IPL, 11.3 TVRs unheard of in the history of a GEC, reaching 287 million, higher than the top 5 programs currently on. You can check some of these numbers. The fifth brave decision happened when Amul decided to launch a Panchamrit pretty much in line with the religious fervor that I was talking about. And this was done to cater to the religious sentiments of many Indians at that point in time. Well, you see, a religious TV plan with the asthas and the sanskars of the world was always possible to do. But we thought that if we could further elevate the stature of Amul Panchamrit, much like how Prasad from the Golden Temple is so revered. So if we could bring about that kind of reverence to the brand, that would be great. So we associated with the Ayodhya Bhumi Pujan content, which we knew would be performed by none other than Namo. So Namo became a brand ambassador. We managed to get 1 lakh seconds of branded content on across networks and catapulted the brand to a different reverence as well. The sixth brave decision in our kitty happened when we realized that restaurants were completely shut. The Horeca segment business was down, reputed chefs were missing prominence and attention, and we simply lifted their spirits. Again, managed episodes 1, 2, 13, 15 episodes, a huge amount of money paid to influencers to do that kind of activity was always possible. We pivoted and transformed this thinking also to bring about something called as Simple Homemade Recipes, which is a non-stop live recipe show on Facebook Live with 3,300 chefs over 15 days. Now, mind you, none of these chefs were paid for. They all came to us voluntarily. We pretty much started with about 2 chefs in the beginning who we reached out to, and then the bandwagon just expanded. We even had A-listers like Saugata Guha, who happens to be a YouTube blogger, and many A-listers from hotel chains like Sheraton, Hilton, you name it. In fact, even Michelin star chefs, who are so difficult to come by. We had people like Suvit Saran and even Chef Thomas Gugla, who happens to be the president of World Chef, came on board with us. In fact, a variety of sessions were cooked as part of this initiative. This became one of the largest influencer-based social experiments that you would ever heard of. Our next brave decision happened when clearly we all know cinema halls had come to a complete stall and outdoorsy activity was out of league. We decided that it was important to reimagine our interaction on OTT, which happened to be the most popular platform at that point in time. Again, a movie channel plan, a theater plan, which again theaters were shut, sports plan, always possible, would that even work? So we transformed our strategy to say that we need to think something in film on the OTT space. We meticulously picked out movies like Saina, Tufan, and Rashmi Rocket, seeding in our brands like Amul Milk and ice cream seamlessly within this content. You see, the amount of euphoria and buzz that was created by each of these associations has truly been phenomenal. So much of talkability, we actually kept Twitter abuzz for 3 months straight, and nobody really stopped talking about our associations. Our swift COVID response strategy has been part of many boardroom conversations which you would have been part of. A multi-touchpoint strategy, to be precise. Let me take you through a short AV. None of these efforts were one-offs. They were not a social message, but designed to deliver results at scale and to help our farmer friends as well. Amul grew double digits despite the COVID pandemic and brands like Panchamrit by 10%. In fact, consumer pack sales grew by 10%, helping us mitigate the loss in Horeca sales to some extent. Needless to say that we helped our Horeca friends as well. 500 days of engagement, and we got 3,300 chefs out of this engagement. Massive nostalgia, pride, and legacy. Like I said, we kept Twitter abuzz for straight 3 months. Multi-fold POE and 3 times higher efficiency via the media leverage that we managed through market softness. Search, those numbers rose by 10x.
Last 1 minute.
Like I said earlier, in the history of the brand, Amul ranked in the top 10 advertisers. And as you can see, a lot of the presentations that we saw in the beginning do carry some of our topicals as well. So thank you for that. A big thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ritu.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes. Harshal, please wait. We'll let you know when to stop.
Yeah, sure.
Jury members, are we good to go for the presentation?
Yes. Okay, moving on to the fifth presentation by Waymaker for Cadbury 5-star Singles Day, entry ID 324.
Yeah, just to check, is my presentation visible?
Yes.
Okay, can I start?
Yes, you can start the presentation. Your time starts now.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Harshal Vora from Waymaker. 5-star. Sorry, it's stuck. Yeah, sorry. 5-star is an iconic brand. It has a humorous and counterculture personality which resonates well within the youth and has also helped the brand grow at a continual pace. And now the key task was to increase our market share by growing at a 2x rate. However, as you all judges know it much better than any of us that achieving a 2x growth rate is easier said than done. With our core TG being youth, we needed to further increase our relevance with them by capturing their occasions. Valentine's Day is the first big occasion of the year with close to 30,000 crores spent by Indians in the Valentine's week, thus making it a perfect occasion to activate for 5-star. However, there was a challenge. 5-star as a brand is all about being cool, humorous, and not following the bandwagon, whereas Valentine's Day celebrations can be considered polar attribute to these values. And hence, we went back to the drawing board to understand how brands have been leveraging Valentine's Day. After going through multiple case studies and success stories, we realized two key things. First, the obvious one, the ads are targeted to couples. Despite multiple research suggesting that for every one couple, there are 2 singles, and thereby leaving a huge potential TG untapped. The second, ads, messaging, and the treatment for Valentine's Day have become boringly predictably mushy, sets unrealistic stereotypical expectations of larger than life celebrations, resulting in anxiety and FOMO for a lot of people. This prevalent belief system, even in today's day and age, if you haven't proposed or been proposed to, you're not one of the most desirable ones. Brand 2 rub it in with further ample reminders of how the day is meant for couples and how it should be celebrated, and thereby creating 2 Indias during Valentine's Day. The first one, wherein couples live in their la-la land, and the other world, where singles rule the roost. Personally, I can relate to the second lot and can say this without hesitation that they face a lot of peer pressure and are bombarded with multiple questions. At one end, they see their friends having a special plan, but for them, the special plan is to chill in their bedroom. Their friends go on a romantic date, but for them, every single day has a date. Amidst all of this mushiness, they end up feeling left out, not knowing what to do. And we wanted to tell them sometimes it's okay to do nothing, thereby finding a perfect match for 5-star to unlock Valentine's Day. We launched a limited edition pack which once scanned helped singles escape the Valentine's Day cliches. On a successful batch code, singles were rewarded with quirky gifts like getting a date, yeah, actual date, khajur in Hindi, a t-shirt which says single and looking to single, my personal favorite, a dinner for one, and many more such gifts. To reach out our youth, we analyzed their media footprint around Valentine's Day and observed that they are constantly active on social. They look for gifting items on search. They get inspired from influencers on what to do, what not to do. They travel to romantic places and they go shopping for malls to buy a special gift for their loved ones. Let us look at the AV on how we activated each of these 5 touchpoints.
Every Valentine's Day, love is in the air. But here's what's on the ground. Rejected teddy bears, crowded restaurants, long queues for cheesy gifts, and whatever this is. However, 5-star's quirky personality did not lend itself well on this occasion. Hence, we decided to break the clutter. We introduced the limited edition Escape Valentine's Day 5-star packs with QR codes, redirecting consumers to our microsite to do nothing and yet get rewarded. These limited edition packs were promoted on different media touchpoints with quirky ads showing the after effects of Valentine's Day. We also introduced the Escape Valentine's Day collection. We took hundreds of teddy bears, photo frames, and other cheesy rubbish and turned it all into something useful, something magnificent. To motivate our audience further, we created Singles Day Anthem in collaboration with Yashraj Mukhate. We also got Google Voice Assistant to be our wingman by developing the Do Nothing mode that gave out witty responses to all the romantic requests.
Play a romantic song.
Whatever plan you're making in your head, it's a bad idea.
The results? More than 8 million people were motivated by the Singles Day Anthem. Thousands of people experienced our Escape Valentine's Day collection at our City Mall in Mumbai. We witnessed a massive 14% growth in sales as compared to the same phase in 2020. But more importantly, we helped 8.6 lakh people to escape Valentine's Day by simply eating a 5-star and doing nothing.
Yeah, a brand-born business growth. 40 million plus singles were motivated through our campaigns across multiple digital touchpoints. We got 8.6 lakh people to escape the Valentine's Day by doing nothing through our website. 5-star witnessed a massive 3.1x growth in sales as compared to the same duration in previous year. And thereby, for the first time in the history of Valentine's Day, helping singles rule the day. And as mentioned by one of our judges, they too win back a minute or so to maybe eat 5-star and do nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshil. Jury members, please do let us know once after you score the entry.
I please know if my screen is visible and if I'm audible as well.
Yes, your screen visible and we can also hear you clearly.
Okay,
Smita?
so we go to the sixth and the last presentation of the particular category. Entry ID 328, Waymaker, Oreo Play Plate, Parking Playful Connections in the New Normal. Waymaker.
Cool. Thank you so much. Hi, good morning. Yes.
Okay, you can start. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, good morning. I'm Wasim Rakhangi from Waymaker. So this time, just 2 years back, concepts such as lockdowns, mask mandates, and social distancing were unknown to most of us. Today, they are part of our everyday language as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to impact all aspects of our lives. Currently, we all have some perspective towards the new normal, like micro and small, medium enterprises are under immense strain. COVID has not just triggered a global healthcare crisis, but also deepest global recession since World War II. The pandemic has highlighted the need for effective, accessible, and affordable healthcare. And at least 1.5 billion students were out of school at the peak of pandemic, and weak digital infrastructure has affected students deeply in the interiors of India. Now, what does all of this mean to an average child? Nothing. So here, let me try to show you another perspective from the lens of the kids. With a nationwide lockdown and pandemic-related movement restrictions, children have spent indelible months of their lives away from family, friends, classroom, and play, all the key elements of childhood itself. There's visible surge in emotional distress among kids, as in certain cases, they had to stay away from families, friends, and so on. There's rise in developmental issues as well, as their social skills were now limited to members of the house only. Online schools and classes only created confusion in the minds of the children, and with no physical teacher in place, many questions were left unanswered. Loss in family, unable to meet friends, isolation, all leading to adverse childhood experiences. Among a lot of children, and parents are now more scared than ever to take their child to wellness clinic as well, purely from a safety point of view, thus impacting the overall mental health of the child. A recent survey conducted for one of the research projects on impact of COVID on children's mental health asked a question to the kids on what did they miss the most during about the pre-pandemic life. Their answers were going to school, going out and meeting friends, hugging their loved ones, and most importantly, their outdoor playtime. Little to no playtime among kids further aggravated all the issues around kids' mental health. And it was important that we as a society identify this as a problem and come together towards solving it by ensuring kids get enough playtime to reduce the anxiety and stress. Oreo, the most loved cookie, not just in India, but across the globe, believes in staying playful. Oreo believes in the more we stay playful, the more we connect. In the current gloomy pandemic scenario, where kids were restricted only to the four walls of the home, Oreo stepped in to inspire parents to get playful with their children at home by taking a very simple pledge, the Oreo Play Pledge. Oreo set out to inspire at least 1 million parents to take the Oreo Play Pledge. What is Oreo Play Pledge? In the new normal, amidst blurring lines between personal and professional life, carving out valuable family connection moment was getting difficult. A recent study by the American Psychological Association concluded that family playtime is proven to reduce stress and anxiety. How to spend playful time with your kid on Google search grew by almost 50% during lockdown, indicating that Indian parents were constantly searching for new ways to spend time and bond with their kids. Oreo wanted to simply nudge these parents to convert dull everyday moments into a playful ones for their kids as well as themselves with the help of multiple playful activities listed on a microsite, which was created especially for this campaign. Moving on to the exciting part, how did we do it? While we had a great thought and idea, it was equally important for us to execute the campaign with a brilliant media strategy. To achieve the mammoth task of getting 1 million pledges, we set up the 3E framework: excite, engage, and educate. In order to create excitement, we partnered with Captain Cool, the man who needs no introduction, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, accompanied by her cute daughter Ziva, who too has a huge fan following on social media. While MSD added credibility to the cause, Ziva's cuteness connected with every parent. An iconic playful ad was created with MSD and Ziva that was amplified on high-reach platforms like TV, YouTube, Facebook. The brand manifesto for Oreo Play Pledge was also communicated through print and outdoor. Once we had created enough awareness, we moved on to the second phase, wherein we were now engaging with the parents by nudging them at the most appropriate touch points. We kicked off with a social media campaign wherein we roped in more than 30 plus different influencers, parent influencers, who took the button forward, asking their followers to take up the Oreo Play Pledge, which also showcased their playful activity with the child and encouraging the followers for participation. We also partnered with Jio in this journey, wherein the entire microsite experience was recreated on Jio Engage platform, wherein Jio users could also participate in the pledge along with various online as well as offline activities listed out for the parents and kids to undertake. To educate, a microsite was created along with some of the leading child psychologists to ensure all the 7 activities listed on the microsite and its details would absolutely benefit the parent as well as the child. Users who took the pledge and who were determined to make a change were also gratified with a personal message from MSD and Ziva, thanking them for this invaluable contribution. Let me take this opportunity to take you through this entire journey.
The pandemic pushed kids indoor, locked away fun family picnics, fun time at malls and amusement parks. It was also evident that parents were suddenly faced with balancing work, parenting, and even schooling simultaneously during the day. Building on the proposition to encourage playful connections, Oreo further fortified its promise of infusing a dose of fun in everyone's life with the campaign #OreoPlayPledge. Oreo wanted to inspire people to snooze away from their busy lifestyles and take the pledge on microsite to create and cherish the much needed moments of fun and family playtime. With the goal of 1 million pledges, we built awareness and performance plans to meet the target pledge numbers. Ads directed consumers to a landing page where they could choose from the various pledges to spend time with their loved ones. How did we do it? To achieve the campaign objective, we set out the 3E framework: excite, engage, educate. To excite the parents, the brand roped in much-loved father-daughter duo, former Team India cricket captain MS Dhoni and his daughter Ziva, offering Oreo fanatics a glimpse of their playful connection. The playful chemistry between Dhoni and Ziva led to the creation of an iconic TV ad that was amplified on TV, Facebook, YouTube, along with brand manifesto, amplified as jacket on leading print media and outdoors. To engage the parents, more than 30 parent influencers were looped in to amplify the brand campaign, urging the followers to take the pledge. Oreo partnered with Jio and for the first time ever hosted the entire microsite we had created on the Jio Engage platform, along with the various offline as well as online activities. To educate consumers, Oreo created a microsite, OreoPlayPledge.com, that educated the consumer on how to spend playful moments with their loved ones and allowed consumers to take a pledge. The microsite was created along with some of the leading childcare specialists, with 7 different pledges for the parents to choose from. On the microsite, those who took the pledge received a customized message from Dhoni and Ziva. Oreo also brought playfulness in the life of 30,000 underprivileged kids with the help of the Play Kits. The campaign delivered 2.5 times CTR and 17% higher microsite engagement, 1.5 million engaged audiences with 0.45 million unique first-party data captured. 588 million brand impressions were delivered. Lastly, 3.91 million pledges taken, almost 4 times the goal, ensuring families spent more playful time together. The pandemic pushed
the results. We got 4 times the pledges. Brand sales went up by more than 25%. Almost 500,000 unique first-party data collected as well during the entire journey. Looking at the traction of this campaign,
Last 1 minute.
realized it has hit all the right chords. As rightly said, a good deed always gets multiplied, and that's exactly what has happened in this campaign. Thank you.
Thank you, Wasim. Jury members, please do score for this entry and let us know when we are ready to go for the next presentation. Smita, can you announce the next presenter's name?
Now we are moving to the next category, Best Media Innovation Print Dailies. And the presentation duration will be 7 minutes per presentation. The first case study, entry ID 1116, Mindshare, Dove. Dove, stop the beauty test.
Hi, good morning. Can someone please confirm whether my screen is visible and whether I'm audible?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you, and your
Thank you.
screen is also visible.
Thank you.
So you can start the presentation. Your time starts now.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Nitya Ravi from Mindshare, and I'm here to take you through Dove hashtag Stop the Beauty Test. बचपन में पापा कहते थे कि धूप में मत खेलो, काली हो गई तो शादी कौन करेगा। माँ ने कहा समोसे मत खाना, मोटी हो गई तो लड़का कैसे मिलेगा। दादी तेल लगाकर टाइट चोटी बांधती थी क्योंकि लड़कों को तो सिर्फ लंबे सीधे बाल पसंद है ना। ये कहानी सिर्फ मेरी नहीं है। This is the reality of 631 million Indian women, all of whom have experienced this kind of scrutiny at some point in their life, all with the goal of landing a good marriage proposal. Now, 90% of Indian marriages are arranged by the family. And while there's nothing wrong or oppressive about this practice in itself, there is a definite regressiveness in the narrow definition of beauty that women are expected to conform to. Just take a look at any matrimonial ad. It's just 3 words. It seems like we're still stuck at the bottom rung of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, doesn't it? Roti, kapda aur makan, tall, slim and fair. बस इतना ही तो चाहिए एक लड़की में. Dove has always stood for real beauty and celebrating beauty diversity. Globally and in India, Dove has continuously encouraged us to adopt more inclusive definitions. The brand believes in empowering women and in driving affirmative action. Hashtag Stop the Beauty Test was born out of Dove's constant mission to champion inclusive beauty, juxtaposed with the beauty test that Indian women are subjected to in the course of getting married. The newspaper matrimonial page was the natural starting point for Dove's hashtag Stop the Beauty Test. It is, after all, the zero moment of truth, where parents, prospective brides, and grooms come together. Given Dove's mission, leading publications like the Times of India partnered with us, opening up pages that were shut to advertising before this. A brand entered the matrimonial pages of the newspaper for the first time ever. We exhorted parents and prospective grooms to look beyond tall, slim, and fair. And we went from brand say to brand do by offering to rewrite matrimonial ads the Dove way. These rewritten matrimonial ads were published in a special section of the matrimonial page. The activity went across geographies, reaching 3.7 million people on print alone, and many more across different touchpoints. Here's the
Dove believes that beauty should be a source of confidence, not anxiety. It launched Stop the Beauty Test campaign with real-life rejected brides to challenge this unfair tradition. Due to regressive matrimony ads and social media conditioning, 631 million women in India are forced to adhere to just one type of beauty. Beauty stereotyping on matrimony platforms became a moment of truth. Partnering the largest matrimony platform, Shaadi.com, we made history by making every bride profile nudge every bride seeker with inspiring real beauty messages. These rejected brides became the cover girls of leading fashion publishers for the first time. Purpose platforms like Humans of Bombay featured their inspiring stories. Popular influencers came forward and encouraged other women to share their real stories on social media.
इस ब्यूटी टेस्ट से गुजरना पड़े ऐसी मैरिज मुझे मंजूर नहीं, और अगर आप मेरी ब्यूटी को सेलिब्रेट ना कर सके तो इसमें मेरा कोई कसूर नहीं। कविता की कविता, डव ने छेड़ी है बात, अब तुम भी मिलाओ हाथ स्टॉप द ब्यूटी टेस्ट के साथ।
Dove partnered with leading publishers and rewrote the age-old biased matrimony ad without using biased words. Stop the Beauty Test was a fully integrated, high-scale, high-impact and highly engaging campaign. Dove created history by challenging matrimony and media platforms and killing the beauty biases and stereotypes with its real beauty stance. It built confidence and stirred conversations with women, posing a question: how much beauty is enough?
And while the campaign drove brand measures, the real power of this campaign lies in the fact that it gives millions of women like me, who are neither tall, nor slim, nor fair, the confidence to be comfortable in our own
Last
skin,
1 minute.
while urging bride seekers कि वो खामियां नहीं, खूबियां देखें. This powerful campaign was applauded by the client and recognized at Cannes. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitya. Jury members, please do score the entry and let us know.
Okay, moving on to the next presentation. Entry ID 1112, Lodestar Amul. Amul's vertical upshot to drive scale and ROI through an offbeat print solution.
So, are you ready?
Yes.
If you're doing any presentation, please, the screen share, please share the screen with the computer audio. And
let me know if you all can see my screen.
yes, we can see the screen and we can also hear you clearly. Yes, you can start the presentation now. Your time starts now.
Can you confirm if the screen is visible?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Hi, is my screen visible?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Hi, is my screen visible?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
When to start?
Yes, you can start the presentation. Your time starts now.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Neeral Trivedi from Lodestar, here to present a case of a path-breaking idea demonstrating scale and ROI. Most of the time, retailers use a standard approach to showcase their product range and several SKUs in one go. Boring and done to death full pages, jackets, double spread, flap, all done again and again so many times, no one even notices or remembers. Being India's largest retailer with a massive portfolio of more than 68 brands, 650 SKUs, and a huge army of outlets and stores spread across the length and breadth of the country, Amul was looking at an offbeat solution to showcase its vastness. But we had to do this uniquely in a never done before manner. Creating several TVCs was never an option given our range and number of brands. Then again, the question was to address different products with different geographies. How many TVCs will we create? Then there are different SKUs for a brand appealing to different geographies as well. We knew that print worked well for retailers, but this had other challenges. Large format ads were already being used extensively, creating clutter. At best, one full page ad can show up to 50 SKUs. Large ad means high cost, an expensive proposition. And therefore, we could not have sustained this over a period of time. Knowing the softness in the market, we negotiated an unusual deal and got the creative agency to redo the quintessential full page ad. Our smart strategy, placement at bullseye. We thought, what if? What if we reimagined the full page and created a really hardworking, effective, and noticeable idea? A newspaper has 8 vertical columns, and we thought, what if we split these into 8 strips, carrying one on different pages of the newspaper? Each vertical strip could carry 7 to 8 Amul ads vertically. Well, we intelligently placed our vertical strips on each page, showing different brands and SKUs on every page. The format would allow us the freedom to choose SKUs, days, editions, position, number of strips we wanted. We could practically work with any permutation combination we wished for, given that we were no longer tied to a single full page ad anymore. In fact, we negotiated across print titles to ensure multiple strips were carried in a single paper on a single day, a visual extravaganza for the consumer. And so, no full page premium and not even an innovation premium was paid by us. We actually brought down the rates by 20% from our regular size ads given the volume. Any media planner who is regularly doing retail and e-com ads, working with several SKUs at one go, understands the importance of noticeability and yet finally resorts to a full page considering it the best option. We ensured 8 to 9 brands in a strip, giving due emphasis to each and every brand. 7 to 8 different strips in a newspaper in a single day across several newspapers. Placement at bullseye, extreme right-hand page, most noticeable where you turn the page. All key RHPs taken like 3, 5, 7, 9, and so on. Multi-brand exposure, different SKUs by edition. We went across the length and breadth of the country with not just 20, 50, 70, but 650 SKUs. We not only used this format to create awareness, but also used it for response, inviting consumers to shop on our Amul Locate app, generating nearly 22% higher sales and query generation through this. This was not a one-off idea, but we achieved this at scale every month, month after month. 49 print titles, 5.4 crore copies, 2.37 lakh square centimeter space, and 4,344 million impressions. That's what you call scale. We were not the only ones awed by our achievements. In fact, many marketing veterans noticed this unique format and found it commendable for an agency to go the extra mile and pull this together. All in all, we beat every single retailer at his own game. a one-of-a-kind visual treat with scale and ROI. We created a solve for showcasing 650 SKUs, over 68 brands at an affordable price and frequency. This was not some random one-off innovation to impress the jury, not a paper art, a fragrant page, or any one-off. We were solving for geography, range, and ROI. The format allowed us freedom to leverage as per geo, brand, edition in any permutation we wanted. We also managed to showcase lesser known SKUs with zero media budgets. Amul brand sales grew 10%, 49 titles, 4,344 million impressions, 2.37 lakh square centimeter space, and 5.4 crore copies. Thank you.
Thank you. Jury members, please let us know once you're done with scoring of this entry. Smita, can you call out the next presenter?
No. Moving on to the third presentation, entry ID 1113, Mindshare, Domex. Domex spreads fragrance on World Toilet Day.
Harsh, are you ready for the presentation?
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I'm ready for the presentation.
Okay, and your time starts now, Harsh.
Thank you.
Hello jury, you must be thinking why I'm giving my presentation from toilet today. It's because sometimes I get best ideas and insight in here. It's my me time. I can truly think over here. I can flush out thoughts from outside world. But today I am feeling a bit incomplete. It's because I am not carrying my phone today. I am sure you must be relating to the same. And that's the insight for today's presentation. That our toilet visit without phones and newspaper is bit incomplete.
Good morning, everyone. Surprised? I am not presenting from toilet today. This short video was created to land the insight and the consumer behavior, which every one of us resonate with. This was important for me to land the experience because of the logo that I'm presenting. I'll be presenting for next 7 minutes on Domex. Domex is a challenger brand in the toilet cleaning category. As a challenger brand, our key marketing objective is to gain share from the market leader. In the market leader in the toilet cleaning category, we have seen that most of the brand had similar smell. And our consumer research showed that consumers are looking for the brand which has better aroma. So we saw that as an opportunity to launch Domex Fresh Guard. It not only had a technology that can heal germ, but it had a non-clinical fragrance up to 100 flushes. Our media objective was to land this message and experience in impactful way. We combined our media insight and we combined our media insight about the latest least distraction in the toilet to deliver the experience in non experience of non clinical smell. Newspaper and mobile being a companion in the toilet, hence we activated it. It was this medium was at a right time at a right place. Hence, medium became the message. We were able to deliver the fragmentic newspaper, which gave us authenticity to scale. Here's an AV that will tell us the details of the activation.
Toilets, as essential as they may be, the very mention of their name can trigger unpleasant memories of some even more unpleasant odor. Domex, a brand committed to general hygiene and effective sanitation, pioneered a unique fresh guard technology in 2020 to address this situation. This meant that Indian toilets would now be stain and odor-free while smelling fresh for up to 100 flushes. Come World Toilet Day, the brand wanted to drive awareness for its new claim. The consumer needed to experience the Fresh Guard technology firsthand to bring alive its freshness. Basically, they had to try it before they could buy it. The newspaper was the only medium which could deliver this experience physically. With circulation of newspapers resuming from November 2020, it stood out as the ideal partner to bring alive Domex's proposition. On the morning of World Toilet Day, India woke up to a pleasant smell. The Times of India was infused with the fragrance and communicated the brand's message at the moment of truth. The ad used an ink that replicated the smell of Domex. While the front page said, "Don't believe what you see," the second page prompted, "Instead, believe what you smell." The print media helped us enter homes across the nation and give the consumers a feel of the product. While the print ad reached just in time for the consumer's morning business, the influencer videos were timed to leverage their behavior of scrolling through feeds too. Socially conscious influencers were activated to speak about the importance of always maintaining great smelling and germ-free toilets. The campaign flushed away the competition and brought a fresh smell of success. Domex made sure that India wakes up every morning feeling fresh, fragrant and germ-free.
Activating the campaign at the right place, right time, with the right message and authentic product experience, we were able to gain the market share. Thank you.
Thank you, Harsh. Jury members, please let us know once we are good to go for the next presentation.
Okay, moving on to the last and the fourth standard case study presentation of this particular category. Entry ID 1109, Waymaker for Netflix. Write your own story, hashtag Aapse Matlab.
Okay.
Hi everyone. This is Krupa. Am I audible?
Yes, Krupa. We can also see the presentation here.
Perfect.
So you can start the presentation. Your time starts now.
Hi everyone. Today I'll be presenting the print innovation for Puglet. When I say print innovation, what comes to your mind? Format innovation, jacket innovation, contextual innovation. But did you think of UGC through print? Yes, that's right. We created user-generated content through print. And to see how we did it, let's dive right in. In the patriarchal Indian society, women bear what is often an unfair burden of representing the values of the family they're born into, and later, the one they're married into. A gap that needs to be addressed and readdressed from time to time. The representation of women in media has been appalling. For instance, this ad, lose weight now and avoid begging somebody to marry you. It makes me furious every time I read it, and I'm sure it makes you all just as angry. History has taught us that change can happen only through collective activism, and we need to thank the many women out there who have been catalysts in slowly evolving the mindset of our society. We've reached a point where we've started to ask the right and relevant questions relating to gender roles, like this one. Is laundry only a woman's job to do? However, a closer look at some recent headlines clearly indicates that we have a long way to go. Now let's come to Puglet. Puglet is a story of Sandhya living in the Tier 2 city of Lucknow. She's widowed at a very young age and faces social struggles under patriarchy until she finds her own voice. Taking on the premise, we saw this as an opportunity to awaken the women and men of Tier 2 cities. Puglet is a story of Sandhya. It is a movie on Netflix. Did somebody ask something? Okay, I'll continue.
Yes, please continue.
Yeah. Awaken the women and men of Tier 2 cities, empower women and give them the courage to find their voice, position Netflix as a brand which brings compelling, relatable, relevant, and local stories. As Maya Angelou rightly said, each time a woman stands up for herself without knowing it possibly, without claiming it, she stands up for all women. From my personal experience, coming from a seemingly very progressive yet conservative family, like most girls, I have been labeled as a rebel simply to choose my own path. Every woman has a similar story to tell, and we realize that people gain courage to speak up when they see others around them opening up. Taking this very insight, we designed a campaign called Aapse Matlab, which encouraged women to write their own story. We selected print as our primary medium to reach the women and men of Tier 2 India, as it enjoys high credibility and also has local reach. Print also has the ability to deliver a message like ours very effectively. In an industry where making optimum utilization of every square centimeter matters, we use the power of blank space. Inserts were taken across leading Hindi and English newspapers to reach 10 million people in India. For the first time ever, 67% of the space was left empty, offering a canvas to women to write their own story. Now let's play the AV.
शादी करके लाया हूं, अब साफ सफाई करे, घर देखे, बच्चों को संभाले, और करेगी क्या?
India, a country with a rich culture and heritage of worshipping women as goddesses. Yet sadly, the love and devotion given to the many goddesses is not reflected in the way Indian women are treated. The problem had been addressed countless times over the years, but none so blatantly than Veer Das when he spoke of the contrasting two Indias.
From which India? I come from two Indias. I come from an India where we worship women during the day and gang rape them at night.
The second India, those are the women we wanted to speak to. We released Puglet, a story about Sandhya, a young woman in the Tier 2 city of Lucknow on her path to self-discovery. This was the perfect opportunity to give our women a platform to speak their minds. So we asked ourselves, how do you break years of social conditioning where women are burdened by the so-called expectations of society? We wanted women to take action and men to take notice. On the morning of 26th March 2021, over 10 million women and men woke up to a very different print ad. We needed people to think and act. So we used the power of a blank space and urged women to write their stories before someone wrote theirs. For the first time ever, 67% of the advertising space was left blank, providing a canvas to women to metaphorically and physically write their own story. We prompted them to ask the question they always wanted to, but never could. Hashtag आपसे मतलब
आपसे मतलब आपसे मतलब आपसे मतलब आपसे मतलब आपसे मतलब.
This evoked both positive and negative reactions. We were inundated with letters from thousands of women who wrote back to us with their stories. We amplified this with 58 women influencers who shared their empowering stories, which inspired a whole community of women to follow.
मेरी जिंदगी की सबसे बड़ी सीख, Don't let anyone else tell your story. और इसीलिए ये है मेरी कहानी, मेरी जुबान.
For the next month, stories poured in from all across the country. Over 32,000 women shared their stories online, and these were stories of their struggle, endurance, and success. Thousands more reached out to us, sharing how empowered the ad made them feel. Over 2.3 million Google searches made Puglet part of the mainstream conversation, and Netflix downloads went up by 9%. Our campaign proved that every woman has a voice that deserves to be heard. All it takes is a little push and the freedom to ask the right question.
शादी करके लाया हूं.
As you see, we got an overwhelming response, and for the first time ever, we created UGC through print. Thousands of women wrote back to us, and that was our true victory. And Netflix perception changed from just being another content platform to a platform that also highlights social.
Time is up.
Social and relevant issues. Thank you. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jury members, please do let us know once you score this entry. Smita, can you call out the next presenter?
Sure. Now we are moving on to the next category, Best Media Innovation Rural Activation, and the duration of the presentation will be 7 minutes per presentation. The first presentation, entry ID 2916 by Mindshare, Active Wheel Career from Home Beyond the Confines of a Kitchen.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hi Pratik. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Just a moment. Yes, you can start your presentation. All the best.
Thank you. Hello, members of the jury. I'm Pratik from the Mindshare team, here to present my case for a campaign that changed the lives of many women across the country, the Wheel Ghar Se Career program. So I'd like to start off my presentation with a small clip that I came across recently. I'll just play it for you.
आप ये गलत सोच रहे हैं काका.
हम है ना कमाने वाले. औरतों का काम है परिवार संभालना, बच्चों को संभालना. हमारी पत्नी कहीं नहीं काम पे जाएगी.
काका, आप मेरी बात समझने की कोशिश तो कीजिए. गोदा काकी में जो हुनर है, उससे राज्य की भलाई तो होगी ही, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ आपके परिवार की भी अतिरिक्त कमाई हो जाएगी.
हम गरीबी सह सकते हैं, पर अपनी पत्नी को बाहर कमाने के लिए भेजकर अपनी इज्जत नहीं गंवा सकते.
So what you just saw was the state of the rural woman 300 years ago, when Ahilyabai Holkar tried to convince ladies in her village to help her start a cooperative. And this is the state of the rural woman today. 93% of women in rural areas participate in unpaid household work because they do not possess the skills that will help them build a life beyond the household. And that is because the patriarchal mindset in these areas has restricted a woman's role to being a homemaker from a very young age. So the only skills they have are the ones that suit a homemaker, like cooking, cleaning, knitting, stitching, and raising their children. And they have no idea of how to commercialize any of these skills, unlike our educated, privileged mommy influencers. Now, Wheel, one of the most popular brands amongst our target audience, wanted to do something for their customers. While the other brands in the category offer clean clothes, brighter colors, fruitier fragrances, and lower price points, we offered them a fresh soch. This soch was released through a TV campaign, which shows a woman using her skills to financially contribute to the household, which I'll just play.
मेहनत ज्यादा, मैल और बदबू भी, लेकिन तनख्वाह इतनी महंगाई में आदमी अकेले घर कैसे चलाए?
अकेले? जब कपड़े फ्रेश, तब सोच भी।
दोनों हाथों से आसान होगा ना?
वैसे ही दोनों कमाएंगे तो घर चलाना भी आसान होगा ना? मैं काम शुरू करूं? यूनिफॉर्म सिलाई का? साथ कमाएंगे, साथ घर चलाएंगे। व्हील 2 in 1, कपड़े फ्रेश, सोच भी।
So while the TVC communicated the thought, we walked the walk by enabling these women to be the catalyst for change, giving them an opportunity to take charge of their own narrative. Because these women have the will to contribute towards the household income, but they just lack the knowledge to do so. So we wanted to bridge that gap by creating a platform that will give them the means to earn a livelihood. Now, the biggest challenge for the brand was, how do we reach them? Because our target audience is located in media dark geographies. And as we all know, the traditional activation channels are not scalable. So we dug a little deeper and found that 40% of these households earn less than 15,000 and yet prioritize owning a smartphone or any other phone over other devices. So the combination of the Wheel pack, which we thought reaches more houses than any other form of media, along with the mobile phone, which reaches more houses than the Wheel pack, was unmissable. And that's how we came up with the idea of Career from Home, an online mobile learning platform to help our customers realize the potential to earn an income without stepping out of the house. The video that I'm about to play for you now will take you through the campaign journey and the results of it.
Wheel created Career from Home, a first ever mobile learning platform to upskill and empower rural women. We partnered with Reliance Jio, India's largest service provider, to reach them in their homes and at scale. To solve for access, every Wheel 1 kg pack came with 1 GB free mobile data. To solve for skills, a curated video training course with 4 modules on stitching and knitting, bookkeeping, beauty services, and English language was designed. To keep the experience simple, we made sure that it works on both smartphones and feature phones. There's no need to download a separate app, no need to step out of the house, and sufficient data to cover all the lessons. True to the purpose of Wear Fresh, Think Fresh, this initiative helped women to commercialize an already known skill through certification so that they can contribute to their family's financial well-being. The success of this campaign surpassed our expectations. 665,000 women started a course and over 100,000 of them completed certifications, with a total of 10 million visits to the video platform and 1.17 million new households added to the Wheel family. These women always had the will. And now, empowered with the required skills, they were all set to financially contribute to the well-being of their family.
So the results that you just saw were possible because of 3 key strategic enablers, which made our campaign so successful. One was a platform for hosting content that would enable Career from Home. The second was a medium for reaching our target audience at scale. And the third was a partnership that would be a means to the end goal of empowerment. Before I bring the presentation to an end, I would like to introduce you to Mrs. Reena Prasad, who is a benefactor of the campaign.
Last 1 minute.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम रीना प्रसाद है। माँ ने मेरी बचपन में कुछ सिलाई बुनाई सिखाई थी जब मैं छोटी। शादी के बाद तो घर में बहुत सारा काम हो गया, बच्चे हो गए। बच्चे में मैं उलझ गई। ने मैंने देखा ओहिल के पैकेट में एक इंटरनेट पर सिखाने के ऑफर मिला। सिलने बिलने का अच्छा लगा तो मैं सिलने लगी। छोटा मोटा टोपी ब्लाउज कुछ कुछ बना ली और पड़ोसियों में बांट दी। पड़ोसियों के बहनों ने बोली मुझे कि इसको फ्री में देने से क्या लाभ, इसको बाजार में बेचोगी तो पैसा मिलेगा। बगल में ही एक शनिवार के मेरे बाजार लगते हैं, उसी में मैं बेचने गई। 1-1.5 करीबन पैसा मिल गया और उस पैसे से मैं अपने बेटी को पढ़ा भी लेती हूँ। उसमें छोटा मोटा घर का खर्चा भी चला लेती हूँ। इससे मेरे पति को बहुत अच्छा लगता है और मुझे भी अच्छा लगता है। इससे मैं अपने परिवार के साथ बहुत खुश हूँ। नमस्ते।
And with that, I'll rest my case. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Pratik. Jury members, please let us know once you're done scoring. Smita, can you please call the next presenter?
Sure. Moving on to the second presentation, entry ID 2912, Waymaker for Punjab government. Say no to stubble burning.
One, are you ready?
Just allow me a minute. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Just allow me a minute.
Sure, let us know once you're ready.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm ready. Hello, jury members. Wish you
You
an
can start. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm starting. Hello, jury members. Wish you an awesome afternoon. Today, I, Varun Bansal, and my partner, Shobit Khatter, will present our entry, Say No to Stubble Burning. Under the category number 29, Best Media Innovation, Rural Activation for a Client Punjab Government Commission via Air Pollution Action Group. I know most of you must be very exhausted by now, but I would request your next 7 minutes of undivided attention to understand how we took the first step toward the pollution-free world. Today, I want to narrate a story which gained high media attention in the past few years. The story how Punjab takes your breath away when farmers burn stubble in their farms. I'm sure most of you will be able to relate to it. So let me try explain what is stubble burning. It is parali jalana in Hindi, one of the hottest media topic over the past few years. I'm sure you all must have heard or read about it. So let's understand what exactly parali burning does. The entire Punjab and its neighboring states get choked during winter with poisonous smoke. The AQI levels crosses hazardous mark. If any one of you are from Delhi, you must have also experienced the same. So basically, there was immense pressure on the Punjab government to tackle this burning issue and do something. But the challenge was threefold. Number one, as the COVID struck, large-scale methods of reaching out to farmers up like hearts or melas were not possible. Number two, stubble burning was easy and default choice of farmers. Number third, and the last, informing farmers about the government incentive program to nudge adoption. We uncovered that there were 10 high burn districts of Punjab, which were contributing to 70% of pollution. So we focused on these 10 districts. The solution to the entire problem was to educate about the benefits of alternate methods available. To do so, we needed a platform to sit in the benefit, dispel all the myths farmers had, solve all the queries, and convince them why they should use a happy seeder or super seeder. So now you must be thinking, what is happy seeder or super seeder? They are nothing but the most efficient and advantageous alternate methods of stubble burning. Our task was to make the farmer understand the 4 basic benefits of not burning stubble. Benefits were alternate methods are environmental friendly, they enrich soil, they help in reducing irrigation costs, and farmer can enjoy government offered incentives. Respected jury members, I want to highlight that there was a research conducted by Punjab government, and it was uncovered that while there was an inertia toward adoption, there were also fence sitters in the market who were looking for a nudge to adopt alternate methods. So what exactly did we do? To drive large-scale awareness, we activated a research-based campaign using TV, print, radio, and OOH. The 4-week testimonial campaign where we showcase success stories of the early adopters and benefits of the alternate methods. The plan reached out to 55% of Punjab farmers. But a mass awareness campaign was not enough, and we needed a deeper connect. We knew basis IRS research that 93% of 2.3 million farmers in Punjab have access to mobile phones. We used this information and designed our strategy. With focus on 10 high-burn districts, we set it up classroom just like it used to happen in Hearts or in Melas. Classroom on the phones of farmers via M-Samvad, with the objective to educate and resolve all their queries. Now comes the most important and interesting part. Punjab government pointed out to the fact that for ages, farmers have greater affinity and trust toward experts from State Agriculture University, as these experts were the voice of authority in their own field. We use these experts as teachers to educate farmers using M-Samvad. I'm reiterating, M-Samvad is a two-way communication platform, and hence, jury member, we selected Shri R.K. Gupta, an expert from Punjab Agriculture University, over Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, Virat Kohli, or any other national figure. We have been talking about M-Samvad from the last few slides. Let's understand what exactly is M-Samvad. It is one of the largest audio bridge where 25,000 users can connect on a single call with a two-way connect without the use of internet, and all calls can be monitored live via moderator. Now we have understood about M-Samvad, let me explain how did we reach out to farmers. OBD calls and SMS were sent to farmers where they can register to attend the session by pressing any key while they were on OBD calls. Reminder OBD calls and SMS were also sent, reminding them to be free at a pre-decided time and date to be part of the session. We set it up 4 classroom sessions with agriculture expert, where 16,000 farmers joined the call. Farmers listened to expert explaining the benefit of alternate methods, asked queries to get their doubts answered, and over 95% of farmers registered their oath not to burn stubble in future. In addition to this, we also went ahead and activated intelligence-powered WhatsApp bot, which farmers can use 24/7, and even illiterate can use it. Shobhit? So do you remember what makes it special?
Thanks, Varun. Yeah. During COVID-19, when it was restricted to host public gathering, we managed to gather 16,000 farmers who interacted live on a one-to-one session with an expert. We converted these 16,000 farmers as our network of advocates to further influence the 2.86 lakhs farmers in Punjab. Humongous average of 10 minutes of listening time, which was almost
1 minute.
7x higher than average listening time to a Bollywood or a political celebrity, means farmers were glued and found it informative. 95% of the farmers took oath by pressing an oath call while they were listening to the M-Samvad, which means that they were fully committed to the cause. Punjab government got the impactful solution, which offered one-to-one connect in a live interactive session at a 1/10 of cost. versus reaching out to thousands of melas or hearts across 24,000 villages in Punjab. The testimony of the success is that Punjab government has
Your time's
now...
up.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes, please wait, Alkesh. We will call out the presenters.
Okay.
Okay. Should I call out?
Yes, please go ahead. Please call out the next presenter.
Okay. Now moving on to the third presentation. Entry ID 2904, Group M Dialogue Factory, Gavi and Unilever, Safal Shuruat.
Should we start the presentation?
Yes, are you ready?
Yes, we are ready.
You can start the presentation. Your time starts now.
अरे तनी शांत रहो, आ रहे हैं, रुको रुको रुको, खड़ी रहो। करना हम सितारा निगम, गांव कन्हैया, जिला हाजीपुर। हमरे गांव में एक बहुत ही अति फैंटास्टिक वाला काम हुआ है, जिसको बताने के लिए हम यहाँ आए हैं। पता है, पहले हमारे यहाँ जो अभी यहाँ औरतें बैठी है, सब टीका लगवाने आई अपने बच्चों को। पहले यहाँ कोई झांकने तक नहीं आता था, भैया बुला बुला के भी नहीं आते थे। तब गांव की बड़ी समस्या थी सफाई। न खाना बनाने से पहले कोई हाथ था, और छोटे छोटे बच्चों को खाना खिलाने से पहले तो बिल्कुल ही कोई हाथ नहीं धोता था। उसके बाद बताएं कि गांव में जो समस्या है, छोटे छोटे बच्चे जो है 5 साल के बीमार हो जाया करते थे। सफाई नहीं तो होगा ही, मगर समस्या ये थी कि गांव को किसी को पता ही नहीं था कि भैया ये हो काहे रहा है। जब फसाद की जड़ें नहीं पता होगी तो कहाँ से पता होगा कि भैया क्या करना है। तभी धड़ाधड़ कहीं से हमारे गांव में गावी और यूनिलीवर वाले आ गए। अब हम क्या बताएं, ये जो हमारे गांव के लोगों पे जो नासमझी का पर्दा पड़ा था, उसको जो उठाए हैं बाबूजी साहब, का बताए जो उठाए वो नासमझी का पर्दा ना, वो बात गौर करे लायक है। पहले जहां बच्चों को बचाने की बात हुआ करती थी, और ये लोग आके क्या कहें, बच्चों के जीवन की सफलता के बारे में बात करें। वो कहा जाता है ना, फ्रॉम मियर सर्वाइवल टू सक्सेस। बाबू साहब, एक बात तो आप भी मानेंगे, हमारे यहाँ हमारे देशवा में बच्चे को लोग सोशल सिक्योरिटी के नजरिए से देखते हैं। क्या कहते हैं ना, हम खुद भी कहते हैं भाई बच्चे बुढ़ापे की लाठी हैं। इसीलिए गावी यूनिलीवर वालों ने सफलता का रास्ता ही चुन लिया, और क्या बताएं, इस प्रोजेक्ट का नमवा धर दिया, सफल शुरुआत। और फिर क्या बताएं बाबू, एक कदम से गजब हो गया। दादा पर दादा बुढ़वा जमाने का आदत छुड़वाना कोई आसान काम है? आप तो खुद जानते हो कि जो मेहनत किए हैं, मगर क्या बताएं, हर एक आवश्यक जानकारी हर एक घर तक पहुंचाई। क्या बताएं बाबू साहब, डायरेक्ट इंटरपर्सनल कम्युनिकेशन से लेके मोबाइलवा से मैसेजिंग तक प्राइमरी ऑडियंस को हर एक जानकारी पहुंचाई। और हम जैसे सेकेंडरी ऑडियंस जिसे कहते हैं ना भैया, हम लोगों को भैया मनोबल उत्साह बढ़ावे का खातिर ये गावी यूनिलीवर वालों ने जो बढ़िया बढ़िया इनाम दी रखे थे कि पूछो ना, सबका मनोबल बरकरार रहे इसके लिए। और सोने पे सुहागा वाली बात, बाबू साहब लोग जरा गौर कीजिएगा, सोने पे सुहागा वाली बात जो है ना, वो हमरे गांव के लोगों को चुना गया, गांव के लोगों को चुना गया, फिर उनको ट्रेनिंग दी गई, बाकायदा ट्रेन किया गया और गांव के ही लोगों को समझाने के लिए। और तो और वो जो लड़का, दोनों लोग को चुना गया, मेल और फीमेल दोनों लोग को, ताकि माता पिता को अच्छे से समझाया गया। रुको हम आपको बताते हैं। ये हल्केश्वर भैया तनी वीडियो तो प्ले कर, अरे जरा जल्दी कर।
अरे दीदी चलाते हैं,
अरे भैया तनी जल्दी कर।
Sorry.
India has made a significant progress in reducing deaths amongst children under 5, but pneumonia and diarrhea remain the top 2 contributors to preventable deaths. Immunization and hand washing with soap are 2 most cost-effective child survival interventions against pneumonia and diarrhea. Program Safal Shuruaat or Successful Beginning, co-sponsored by Gavi the Vaccine Alliance and Hindustan Unilever's Lifebuoy, aims to drive behavior change amongst parents of 0 to 2-year-old children on immunization and hand washing with soap at key occasions. The program encourages young parents to adopt these behaviors to ensure age-appropriate growth and development such that the child is not merely surviving but thriving. The program integrates nutrition and early childhood development in addition to immunization and hand washing with soap for holistic intervention. The program is built on intensive interpersonal communication done by male-female communicators who take the parents through a journey of learning and behavioral modeling using a mix of technology-enabled IPC sessions. Safal Shuruaat has made significant changes in knowledge, attitudes and practices of the target groups. The compliance for 3 priority vaccines showed significant growth. Hand washing with soap post-defecation grew by 57%. The incidence of hand washing with soap by their mothers before breastfeeding a child increased 6 times.
भैया जब लेडीज और जेंट्स दोनों मिलके समझाए हैं तब गजब का फायदा हुआ है। और तो और बताएं वो क्या कहा जाता है, फेलिसिटेटर डीओ खुद स्वयं यहाँ हमारे गांव में मजबूत रहा, कमर कस के, और हर एक चीज का निरीक्षण परीक्षण सब चीज बारीकी से की के मजबूती से पकड़ा रहा हो। और तो और सब हम जो बड़का बड़का पोस्टर, बड़का बड़का होर्डिंग और ब्रोशर तो इतने बांटे गए कि पूछो ना, सब कुछ बाकायदा किया गया। और फिर
Last 1 minute.
और अब हम क्या बताएं, अब हमारे गांव का बच्चा सिर्फ सरवाइव नहीं करेगा बाबू साहब, सक्सेसफुल भी बनेगा आप लोगन की तरह। हमको सुनने के लिए धन्यवाद।
Thank you. Jury members, please do score the entry and let us know once we're ready to go for the next presentation.
Yes, we have completed.
Okay. Asmita,
Yeah,
can you call out the next presenters?
sure. Moving the last presentation, the 4th one of this session. Entry ID 2907, Publicis Media, Inno Rural Activation.
Am I audible?
Yes. We'll let you know just a moment.
Okay.
Jury members, are we good to go for the presentation?
Yep.
Okay. Kaushik, you can start the presentation. Your time starts now. All the best.
ज्यूरी के सभी लोगों को मेरा नमस्कार। अरे ये गड़बड़ हो गया, प्रेजेंटेशन के बीच में एसिडिटी, क्या किया जाए? इनो ट्राई करता हूँ, मुझे प्लीज 6 सेकंड दीजिए। खैर, इनो ने तो मेरे इस एसिडिटी के प्रॉब्लम को 6 सेकंड में दूर कर दिया। लेकिन ब्रांड को अपना यही मैसेज गांव के करोड़ों लोगों तक पहुंचाना था। आई एम कौशिक सरकार एंड आई एम हियर टू प्रेजेंट द केस स्टडी इनोज रूलिंग रूरल। इनो एक 100 साल पुराना ब्रांड है जो 40 से ज्यादा देशों में बिकता है। भारत इसका सबसे बड़ा मार्केट है। खैर ये तो होना ही था, हमारी आबादी जो इतनी है, और चाट समोसा बिरयानी खाने वाले लोगों को एसिडिटी की गड़बड़ तो होगी ही। और क्या आप जानते हैं, एक दिन में इनो के तकरीबन 30 लाख सैशे बिकते हैं। दिस इज द स्केल ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन फॉर अ ब्रांड इनो एवरी डे। इनो के लिए रूरल मार्केट काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि ब्रांड का तकरीबन 45% बिजनेस गांव देहात से आता है। रूरल बेल्ट्स ऑफ यूपी, बिहार, राजस्थान, एमपी, गुजरात, महाराष्ट्र, वेस्ट बंगाल हमारे ब्रांड के लिए काफी इंपॉर्टेंट मार्केट्स हैं। In these rural markets, for a brand with a 50% plus market share, it was imperative to add new consumers and at the same time build consideration scores of the brand amongst the rural audiences. The 3 key steps to approach the brand task were: first, choose mediums that deliver scale, target rural audiences with precision, and third, ensure measurability and effectiveness. तो जब हम रूरल मार्केट्स की बात करें, ट्रेडिशनल मीडिया पेनिट्रेशन हमारे ब्रांड के की मार्केट्स जैसे कि यूपी, बिहार, इन मार्केट्स में केवल 45% तक सीमित है। इन सिचुएशन में इनो अपनी मन की बात लोगों तक पहुंचाए तो कैसे? तो आइए जानते हैं। थैंक्स टू द 4G revolution, mobile penetration in rural markets now stands at more than 70%, which is way higher than the traditional media penetration. Cheap data and affordable smartphones are a source of entertainment and gateway to stay connected to the rest of the world for these rural audiences. Even a village like Chandoli, which is not even on Google Maps, has most certainly people hooked onto Facebook thanks to the platform's crusade to have each and every human being on their platform. Indian internet is more rural, local, and mobile first than ever before. And this was the opportunity we tapped in. So the next task for us was to identify the rural audiences with precision. To bring in precision, we leveraged the power of pin codes. Mr. Sriram Bikaji had introduced pin codes in 1972, and India was mapped with more than 19,000 pin codes. We mapped these pin codes with the census population to identify 7,200 pin codes in the rural markets of Ino, which meant reaching out to 60,000 villages across 9 states. Yes, that's right. Through this extensive exercise, we identified 60,000 villages across 9 states with precision. Now, with this rich information in hand, we chose Facebook and Jio as our key media partners to approach our brand task. This was an industry-first activation across rural audiences. With Facebook and Jio, we were able to approach our 3 key elements, that is, deliver scale with 100 million audiences on Facebook and 60 million on Jio. Second, reach rural audiences with precision through Facebook's pin code targeting and Jio's rural telecom circle targeting. And both these platforms had the capability to measure the effectiveness of the campaign with a brand-led study. Now getting into execution. On Facebook, the pin codes were layered at a state level along with the targeting of the brand's core TG. On Jio, we applied the rural telecom circle targeting across our key markets and layered it with the brand's core TG, and also selected apps which have a higher time spent amongst the rural audiences. And now the next critical part of the execution was to bring in the local flavor to connect with the rural audiences. In order to do so, bespoke vernacular content was created in collaboration with Chacha Chaudhary and Sabu as our key protagonists in the storytelling. I shall play the video for you.
कचौड़ी स्वादिष्ट है। चलन
नींबू पानी पी लो।
एसिडिटी हो तो सबसे पहले इनो काम शुरू करे सिर्फ 6 सेकंड में।
The bespoke content that was designed was to bring in smiles. The timing coincided with the lockdown, and the adoption of digital content saw a spike for entertainment even in the rural markets. It was this strategic approach the content was designed. We also utilized Facebook and Jio's mobile customization of creatives for better viewability on mobile devices. Coming to the last leg of execution, Facebook and Jio enabled industry's first brand lift study in vernacular language to measure the effectiveness of this campaign. And following the success of this, vernacular BLS has now become a norm for rural campaigns done by other advertisers. Now let's see how all of this came together to deliver the brand task. From the 60,000 villages that we had identified, we were able to reach out to 35 million users through Facebook and 30 million through the Jio platform. In total, we reached out to 80% of the rural audiences through precision, which would have been an uphill task with the traditional media.
Last 1 minute.
On the brand matrix, we saw a 2x lift in ad recall and a 6x lift in purchase intent as compared to the industry benchmarks. In terms of ad engagement, we saw a 50% higher engagement in our ads as compared to the industry benchmark. This resulted in a sales growth of 36% in our activated rural markets, which was 1.5x as compared to the brand's other markets. Following the success of this approach, other rural states for the brand were also activated as a part of its Winning Rural program. This campaign became Facebook's first rural case study in the CPG industry and is now being followed as a template to activate rural by other marketeers. And as they say, there's no big award than client appreciation for the entire rural endeavor that we have done. And here's a glimpse of that. We have had a fabulous journey of activating rural markets of through mobile devices. Hope you enjoyed the
time is up.
And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kaushik. Smith, jury members, please do let us know once you're done. Smita?
Yes.
Is this the last presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
Over. Vipin, sir.
Course. So we are done.
Yes, sir.
So big thanks to all the jury members once again and the presenters. And the good news is we have finished almost 25 minutes ahead of the schedule. So in keeping with the previous 2 days record, I think you all have also accomplished that feat. My request, since this is the first time we have done online presentations as far as Emvies is concerned, because of course of the normal, the circumstances are not normal because of COVID. Otherwise, we would have had the circumstances been normal, it would have been at the V School. That's a place where we normally do at their swanky auditorium. But many of you have judged the in-person presentation and this presentations online. So basically, I would like you to opine one by one on the experience that you had as far as judging the presentations online is concerned, not referring to any singling out any presentations or something like that. That's not the thing. I just want to have your opinion on how you found that the whole thing was organized and how was the experience and how did it go according to you? Can I have the opinion of the jury members?
Okay, I can go because I don't see anyone speaking. So yeah, hi, I'm Pragya. I'm not sure if you can see me. Yeah, hi, I'm Pragya from Crompton. I know, I mean, it's moving into a virtual world, and awards is something which you would want to hear people directly talking about. But honestly, the virtual experience has been good. And the fact that the entries came much in advance, we could go through that. The fact that they were succinct, the fact that the brands had put in a lot of efforts to make the storytelling much better. The presenters were good, so I don't see much of a hiccup moving from a physical to a virtual world as far as this is concerned. I think it was also very seamlessly done, without any technical glitches, thankfully. So it worked well, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Vipin, John here.
I think I agree with Pragya. The entire availability of the case studies and everything in advance was a great start. You had enough time to go through them, and assimilate them. And the presentations were like the icing on the cake. And I must commend your team for the technology deployed. I mean, the platform, the bandwidth, the way things were rehearsed well. I mean, moving from one presentation to another, smooth, really smooth, and the scoring sheets and everything, the instructions, the mails follow up. I think brilliant, very well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Hi, Bipin. I've attended the earlier program, so I actually find this far more better. It's far more time efficient for us, and it gives us time to go through and refer the documents, because when you are seeing live on stage, you can't do a cross-referencing in terms of data which has been presented. So I find it very useful. And for me, since I am out of Mumbai, it's far more easier for me to participate and contribute.
Okay, thank you.
Vipin?
Yes.
Yeah, overall, the whole thing was conducted very smoothly, very well organized. I like this giving these cases in advance so that we could go through it properly and give proper judgment.
Thank you.
And the overall process online, I think, has saved a lot of time. And it's also keeping in time with the COVID issue also. So I think it's overall a very efficient process, and your technical team has managed very well. The only thing that in personal interaction, in personal or offline presentation, we miss that personal interaction, which is currently not there. So that is the only thing I'm missing in online. Otherwise, the format is very good.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Praveen. And I think Sapna and Mr. Kapoor wants to say something. Sapna?
Yeah, no, I just echo the thoughts that have been given. I mean, I miss the networking and the opportunity to meet people. But other than that, I think this is efficient, and to get people from different locations in one place. Kudos to the team. Very well organized.
Thank you so much. Means a lot. Thank you.
No, thank you. It was actually very well organized and seamless. So really, this was a good session. I didn't even know what how time passed actually. So excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Right.
Yeah, let me add also, I think it was very well organized, Bipin, and it was seamless. In some ways, I agree with Anupam. It gave us the bandwidth to refer to the earlier ones also, which helped. And yes, I think going forward, it is very good for our managing our time. But saying all of that, we miss the in-person interactions where we get a very different feel. So I think a hybrid mode here also will be the way forward, which we would look forward to. But thank you very much, Bipin.
Yeah, and I also actually miss a lot the interaction that used to happen between the jury members, and then the networking that happens during the lunchtime. The absolute the sheer pleasure of meeting you all is not there, but this is a different way, and these are the days. I think things will change, and we will have to take recourse to more and more online events and presentations is what I feel. But maybe next time, I think once again in person, I don't know, but what call my committee takes, but let's see.
Yeah, I think hopefully soon we can meet in person, but it was very well organized today, and I think it was really seamless. So it was good fun judging it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Hardi?
Can you hear me, Vipin?
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying efficient as always. It's never been a difference, so to say, in person or virtual. You've always been, I think the team's always super efficient. But yes, we miss the buzz in the auditorium, all the people preparing for their presentations, getting ready, trials, rehearsals, and of course, the energy of the co-panelists. But hopefully soon. But this is equally good. I think that's very, very efficient, ensures that we can balance and do more in the day as well.
Thank you. Thank you. So wonderful to hear all these lovely words from the jury panel, and you all have been absolutely brilliant jury members over the years. Thank you for all the cooperation and all the support that you have been giving. And a big thanks and a big round of applause to the presenters as well. They have been absolutely fabulous. And I over the years, I've seen that the youngsters and even the seniors, and the level of confidence with which they present is absolutely brilliant. They're so confident. And my sincere and best wishes to each and everyone. And may the best team and the best presenters and the best case studies go on to win big time. All the very best. And big thanks to all the jury panel. Thank you. And thanks to my team of Shraval and Nitin and other members. And thanks to my team of Matthew, Smita,